I was talking with a friend of mine over the weekend, and during the course of our discussion, he told me that one of his cousins is going through a divorce with the wife. So, and I was asking what was the problem, and he said over the years they've been having issue with this tax return thing, child tax credit, that the husband has insisted to use the name of one or two of their children to also file for tax return, but the wife has never yielded. They have 4 children, so every year the wife is the one that is filing tax with their 4 children, and nothing for the husband, and the husband kept insisting. So this point has become so serious that they're going through a divorce. I was like, wow, it is so pathetic, especially for many of us coming from a system or a country where the government doesn't give us anything for our children. And by the way, we take care of our children regardless, because they are our responsibility. And now you are getting something relatively for these children, maybe 2,500 or 3,000 or thereabout every year, and you're going to get it for 16 to 17 years. So the question is, what are you keeping for these children? Because like I told him, if the emphasis for this money were on their children, if they have a plan of using part of this money to save up for their children, there wouldn't be this issue. If the husband or the wife knew that this money goes into the children account and from which they invest for these children, like some white families do, get them life insurance now that they are young. You can get them insurance of $200,000 and for less than $100, about $80. So when you get this money, you can pay it up for 1 year. Pay it up for 1 year. So for this 17 years, you will be paying it off. Okay, every year. Take a little and invest for them in stock. Maybe they 500 every year. Then the remaining, you guys can spend it for yourself. There is nothing wrong in using a little bit out of it to ease part of your problem, there's nothing wrong in it, but using all, and especially when it's creating problem for the family and leading into a divorce, when something that should be a blessing becomes a problem and a curse, then that something is wrong somewhere. Breaking a marriage that will throw the children into some situation that they might not recover in the near future over what should be a blessing. When a supposedly blessing becomes a curse, I think it's high time we start thinking in this direction, that this money is a blessing. It's something that should be a blessing to us, to the children, and even a little for yourself. And this is what makes the difference between families that have good financial knowledge, building generational wealth, like some of these people that remains poor, recycling poverty. You can see those children that have life insurance, that have cash value, by the time they're getting to 18, they can withdraw those cash values and buy cars without car notes. Get a car for the children and all that, ease them of those problems, and they start on a better ground. And when the children see this thing, what does it do? You encourage them that these are the right path to follow, and they will continue. Even though their life insurance, they can up it up, and continue from there. But when we do all these things and the children wake up tomorrow and realize that there's nothing for them, maybe they want to get insurance now, they are like in their 18, 20, 21, it becomes very expensive. Something they would have gotten for $30 or $35 for 100,000, and they'll be asking them of 3 times the money, and sometimes they might be denied because now they have some health condition that no insurance company will be able to give them insurance. And this is something that would have avoided when they were young. They will not be proven insurability. I think at this point it's important we start thinking in this direction, because if we know better, we can act better. Knowledge, they say, is power. So let's, as parents, start looking for a way to use some of this money for these children, to invest for them, to also use and plan their own future, while we keep a little for ourselves. You don't need to break a home because of something that is a gift coming from you. It is disappointing think those parents, if they're hearing this, they should listen and have a rethink, you know. And for those of us who goes through this problem, I know most people go through this problem too. It's time to think right and start applying the right principles to help us, help the children, help the family, and stay together. I hope this helps. Thank you.